Hi, Period 6, coming to you from my one-car garage, aka my art studio. And we are getting into the expressive self-portraits. Last week, you went on either to explore Impressionism, Post-Impressionism, Expressionism, or Fauvism, sorry. So you learned a little bit about color and brushwork, I hope, from those artists. And now to kind of apply it to your self-portrait. Last week I asked you guys to take 10 selfies, different angles, different lighting, so that you could start maybe using some of those selfies to draw from in your sketchbook. I have a very scary example. Well, I took 10 selfies, and then in my sketchbook, I just used one page, and I kind of sketched from the different selfies, the different angles. And so from here, I'll probably start maybe a piece on another page. I might go a little bit bigger, but I'll probably stay in the sketchbook since you guys are too. And so then after I do these pencil sketches, I'm ready to think about color. I was just doing some color experiments with colored pencils here. Use the colors you feel will express you and your emotions. But you remember from when we did the color wheel, and there were the cool side of the color wheel with the blues, the greens, and the purples. And then there was the warm side of the color wheel, orange, red, I even put pink, yellow. And you could go a third way. You could be combining cool and warm colors in your expressive self-portrait. Or maybe you want to do one portrait that's more cool and one portrait that's more warm. So that's going to be totally up to you how you want to use color. I thought I would show you a little bit about oil painting today. It's something that we can't really do at school because it's too messy and toxic and expensive. So we use acrylic paint. And I think all of you guys have some acrylic paint left. And I know everyone took 2 brushes on those last days. So if you want to do this piece using any acrylic paint that you have left over, that's great. Otherwise, you can use colored pencils or crayons instead of paint. Okay. I'm just going to show you how I kind of layer up colors using oil paint. I'm going to bring you guys over here. Hi. Okay, hi. I've been working on this for a while. I am a very slow painter. And I think I told you a little bit about how I'm doing a series about the San Gabriel Mountains. This is from original, well, it's not original, but it's from the internet. But I originally got that photo of the San Gabriel Mountains, and I did some sketches in my sketchbook, and then on to bigger drawings like this charcoal piece. And then finally, I've done some little oil paintings of this, or not exactly this, but the mountains. And this is my bigger piece that I'm now working on. And yeah, okay, I am in the process of changing the color of the sky. I like how the mountains came out. I like the contrast between these dark and lighter areas in the mountains. But I felt like the sky was too light for that. Like I wanted to darken it and maybe make it like a purple. Okay, and red and purple are kind of a little more related. Well, pink is related to red, but a little more related than the blue because purple, remember, has red in it. So I'm hoping to like lessen the contrast, blend them a little bit more. And then down here, I'm pretty happy with the way this turned out. I really enjoy mixing different, like this is a dark blue. Maybe it looks black to you, but it's a dark blue. lighter blues, and I thin out the paint so that the white of the background kind of shows, so some of the colors seem lighter. So there's some greens, some blues in this part. And all right, the other thing I wanted to talk about today was the brushwork. You know, my favorite expression, one of my art teachers in college said, "Hey, we're not painting the side of a house here, we're making art." And so when you make art, you want to be expressive with your brush. I think if you looked at some of the post-impressionists like Van Gogh, Edvard Munch, you'll see that they have a lot of movement in their brush stroke. So that's why I'm kind of trying to create this sort of swirly thing. Oh, this is my palette, by the way. You can get these at an art store. This is basically actually something that butchers use. It's a pan to cut meat in, and the blood goes to the side. But anyway, so here we go with the brush strokes. Also, I have put some little dots in the sky, and I don't know if I like that, you know, sort of stars, but I'm not sure if I like that. So, but when I do paint over, I do like to leave some of what used to be there. Like I might leave some of the pink showing. It just adds more interest to the eye. If I just did flat purple all the way across, it's not that interesting, but if you leave a little of the pink showing, a little of the blue showing, it just gives your piece more depth, a lot more interest to the eye. They say it also has maybe kind of a vibration effect because your eye doesn't settle on one color. It's just like vibrating between the colors. These are things I've heard. Okay, and this up here is a moon, so I'm going to kind of go around that. There will be a little yellow moon up there. Okay. Well, and I don't know if you can see this at all, but the brush strokes go this direction, and then I'm coming down this way. With the water, I wanted to swirl it and make it look like water. Not that there really is water there under the San Gabriel Mountains. This is my imaginative part. Okay, and a plant here coming out of the water. Let's see. All right, I think I'll show you some examples of a couple other paintings. Oh, before I do that, these are some paintings that I'm going to start in a little while. They're just drawn with black charcoal. That's the way I like to start. In oil paint, can I move the camera this way a little bit? Okay. So we have these mediums. Now you guys have acrylic paint also has medium. It's like a clear gel that could extend your paint, make it a little shinier, and make it stick to your paint, stick to your surface better. So I like it because if I put oil in my paint, which you have to with oil paint, you know how oil, you see through it. I don't know if you can see through this one, but cooking oil, you know how it's clear and you see through it? So when you paint with it, it's like you're adding light into your painting. So it I guess I have to ask Gilliland about this, but does it separate the molecules of color more and light comes into your painting? That's why you can see some older paintings in museums that look very fresh because there's oil in it. It has that glossiness, that freshness that sometimes I feel like acrylic paint doesn't have. Acrylic paint to me seems a little flatter, but I know a lot of people that they do know how to work with acrylic better than me. They put mediums into it. That means clear gels into it. Okay. So I'm going to just show this one as an example, but you can see the brush strokes. I try to go with the movement of the piece down here. Okay. And then as far as color choices, what do I want people to notice? Well, I wanted them to notice this little piece here, little sort of temple altar thing with the candles inside. So I made it very different from the background, so it pops next to that. I also wanted to bring out the movement of the branches. I put a bright yellow next to the, kind of blood red. And then the yellow really contrasts, the lightness of the yellow really contrasts with the dark. So you can contrast with cool and warm or dark and light to make the viewer notice certain things. Okay. But anyway, oops. So these beginner paintings, I might start very bright and then I'll let it dry. It takes a couple days to dry. And then I might go on it with a different color, but always let the brightness show through, like even scratch through to it. Well, I was going to show you over here too. Can you pound the camera this way again? So when you're painting and you're going with this movement, and the paint is still wet, I could even take the other end of my brush, the other end, and I could scratch through to the other colors. And that's kind of a cool effect too. Anyway, these are my painting tips for the day. And have fun painting your expressive self-portrait. I know this is a landscape, but you will have fun painting your expressive self-portrait. And guess what? I'm going to make one too. Okay, so you saw my sketches. I didn't show you my selfies, but you saw my sketches. They're not that amazing, but I think it's something to start with. And now, next step, I'll start thinking about color. Okay, thank you for listening. Have a great day.